Tiffany Liu is live at the church where the Bidens went to Mass. But we begin with WFAA's Rebecca Lopez. Now, Rebecca, the President and First Lady really hoped that this trip would help with healing.
And I think the community is hoping that as well, Teresa. They have been here all day. Right now they're meeting with first responders, but first they went to the elementary school, then they went to Mass, and then they met with the families impacted, those who lost loved ones. All day long we have seen people crying, praying, and then also asking the president for change. We're going to take some video now of his motorcade arriving with the First Lady as well at Garner's Field, where they are meeting with those first responders. Of course, the president lost a son and knows the pain of losing a child. The community feels that he is connecting with them in that way. The First Lady is a former teacher, and some of the residents told us they thought that that was very comforting. The families have gone through the shock of what happened and then learning the details of the slow police response. Now, the President and First Lady arrived around 11:30 at the school and spoke to and prayed with school superintendent and the Robb Elementary principal. They spent a few minutes at the memorial in front of the school where people have set up crosses of the children and the teachers that are now covered in flowers. People waited for more than 2 hours outside the school to greet the president, some even driving here from the Metroplex. They cheered as he arrived and left, but they did not have a warm welcome for Governor Greg Abbott. Of course, most of these are the president's supporters, but the governor did join the president, and Abbott was booed. But politics aside, the two men came to pay their respects. Among those who stood outside the school was a cafeteria worker who says she knew most of the children and was inside when the shooting happened.
Just so sad we had to see him in this situation because our little ones, we see their faces every day with their smiles. They were excited for the last days. All they wanted to do is have fun. And for that massacre to come in their lives, it's just so sad.
Now, everyone that we talked to here today says they hope that both sides can come together and bring about some sort of change to try to prevent these shootings and these killings from happening again. And as we said, the president did attend Mass, and that is where Tiffany Liu picks up the story. Tiffany.
Yeah, Rebecca, for those who come here regularly, church looked different this morning because President Joe Biden and First Lady Jill Biden were in attendance. And before noon is when the Mass that he attended, and before noon we saw the streets starting to get blocked off. We saw lights and sirens and motorcades started coming through. Around 11:50, the Bidens arrived and walked into Sacred Heart Catholic Church. Now, this is a church where some of the victims of the Robb Elementary shooting attended. We know the teacher who was killed, Irma Garcia, and her husband, who died 2 days later, were members. So at Sacred Heart, it really does hit close to home. Now, I spoke with some people today who say it's nice that the president and his First Lady came to Uvalde, but they wish it wasn't under these circumstances.
I think that it's very important for him to show up and show his support. So I think that people knew it. There were some people that didn't agree with it, but I mean, he's a president, and him showing up I think it's a big deal for the families especially.
Now, as we've been here through the weekend, we've seen a lot of people come here from out of town, and obviously today's visit with the president and the First Lady was a big deal here in Uvalde, but it's going to take much longer than that for the community to heal. And as visitors start to go away, the community and this church hope to be here to help with that healing process.